You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinate because a part of your brain is terrified. And until you understand what it's afraid of, you will keep losing. Not just time, but the version of yourself you were always meant to become. Here's what everyone gets wrong. They think procrastination is a productivity problem, a time management problem, a discipline problem. So they download another app, buy another planner, set another alarm, and nothing changes. Because procrastination isn't about time. It never was. You could have all the time in the world, and you still find a way to avoid the thing that matters most. Why? Because the real problem isn't on your calendar. It's in your mind. Here's the truth that nobody tells you. Procrastination is a coping mechanism. Your brain isn't broken. It's protecting you. From what? From the possibility of failure. From the fear of judgment. From the terrifying thought that if you actually try and it doesn't work, then you'll have to face something painful, that maybe you weren't good enough. So instead of risking that, you wait. You tell yourself, I'll start Monday. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll start when conditions are perfect. But Monday never really comes, does it? And then there's perfectionism, that silent killer. You don't start because you're afraid of doing it wrong. You want it to be flawless before anyone sees it. So it stays invisible. It stays inside you, dying quietly. Some of you aren't overwhelmed by laziness. You're overwhelmed by the size of the vision in your head, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels so enormous that you freeze. And sometimes, you're not even procrastinating because of fear. You're procrastinating because you don't have clarity. You don't know exactly what the first step is, so you avoid all of them. This isn't weakness. This is your brain doing what brains do, avoiding pain. But here's the problem. The avoidance creates a different kind of pain, a slower, quieter, more dangerous kind. Your brain is wired for one thing above everything else, survival. And in the modern world, survival looks like this. Scroll, click, watch, repeat. Every time you pick up your phone, instead of doing the work, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. A tiny reward, a little chemical whisper that says, good, you're safe, stay here. And the work, the hard thing, that produces anxiety before it produces reward. So your brain says no. It chooses a certain pleasure of now over the uncertain reward of later. This is called present bias, and it is wired into your biology. You are not failing at discipline. You are fighting millions of years of evolutionary programming. But here's what evolution didn't account for. You have a future. You have goals. You have a purpose. You have a life that is waiting to be built. And every time you choose to scroll over the work, you are voting unconsciously for a smaller life. Let's get real for a second, because procrastination isn't harmless. It isn't just wasted time. It is silently stealing from you. Every day you delay, time slips through your hands, and unlike money, time cannot be earned back. Every avoided task quietly erodes your confidence, because deep down you know you're capable. And every time you don't show up for yourself, you chip away at the belief that you ever will. Opportunities don't wait. The business idea you sat on for 2 years, someone else launched it. The relationship you kept putting off nurturing, it drifted. The job you never applied to, gone. But maybe the deepest cost is this: self-respect. There is nothing heavier than carrying the weight of who you know you could be, while living as you've allowed yourself to become. That weight is real, and you feel it, late at night, when the distractions are gone, and it's just you and your thoughts. That feeling? That's not guilt. That's your potential, knocking on the door. I want you to think about someone for a moment. Her name is Maya. At 28, Maya had a dream of launching her own graphic design business. She had the talent. She had the ideas. But every time she sat down to build her portfolio, she'd freeze. What if it's not good enough? What if clients don't come? What if I fail publicly? So she scrolled. She watched others succeed. She told herself, next month. Until one day, her younger sister, with half her talent, launched a business and landed her first client in 2 weeks. Maya didn't feel jealous. She felt awake. She realized the only thing standing between her and her dream wasn't skill, wasn't luck, wasn't timing. It was her. That realization hit like cold water. And she made a decision, not when she felt ready, but before she felt ready. So how do you break the cycle? Here's what actually works. First, start absurdly small. Don't work on the project. Open the document. That's it. 2 minutes. Your brain cannot argue with 2 minutes. And once you start, momentum takes over. Starting is the hardest part, so make starting ridiculously easy. Second, break it down until it's obvious. Vague goals create paralysis. Write my business plan is terrifying. Write one sentence about my target customer is not. Break every task down until the next step is so clear. There's nothing left to fear. Third, progress over perfection. Every single time. Done is better than perfect. A real, imperfect action beats an imagined flawless plan. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Give yourself permission to be messy. The edit comes after the draft. The polish comes after the attempt. Fourth, design your environment. Your willpower is not unlimited. Stop relying on it. Put your phone in another room. Block the apps. Tell someone your goal. Make it harder to avoid the work than to do it. And fifth, build discipline, not motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings change. Discipline is a system. Systems work even when you don't feel like it. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Show up on the days you don't feel like it, especially those days. That's where the real transformation happens. Here's what happens when you stop procrastinating. And I mean really stop. Something shifts. The fog lifts. There's a clarity you've never experienced. Because you're finally moving in the direction of your own life instead of away from it. Your confidence rebuilds, not because someone told you you're great, but because you prove it to yourself. Every small action becomes evidence. Evidence that you can trust yourself. Your productivity compounds. One task becomes two. Two becomes a habit. A habit becomes an identity. And the deepest change of all? Self-respect. You start to like who you see in the mirror. Not because of what you've achieved. Because of who you're becoming. You were never lazy. You were scared. And that's okay. Fear is human. But letting fear write the story of your life, that's a choice. The work is waiting. Your potential is waiting. Your life is waiting. You're not stuck. You're just one decision away from a version of yourself you've always known you could be. Make the decision. Start now.